Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Name NUMISMA HUB coins. Today we're exploring an interesting coin that many people overlook, the 1973 D Kennedy half dollar. Even in dirty or circulated condition, this famous coin can still hold collector value, hidden errors, and surprising history. So stay with me till the end because your old half dollar might be worth more than you think. Top 4 first up. The 1973 D Kennedy half dollar is a fascinating coin that many collectors and everyday people still come across today, often in worn or dirty condition. First introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, this coin quickly became one of the most recognized and collected coins in American history. By 1973, the coin was no longer made of silver for circulation, but it still carried strong emotional and historical value. Collectors search for this coin not because every piece is rare, but because certain high-grade examples, unique errors, or well-preserved coins can be surprisingly valuable. Even a dirty or circulated coin can hold interest if it has rare features or is in better than expected condition. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964 as a tribute to President Kennedy, whose sudden death shocked the nation. The coin replaced the Franklin half dollar and was rushed into production due to public demand for a memorial. By 1973, the United States was going through economic changes, including inflation and reduced use of large denomination coins like the half dollar in everyday transactions. As a result, most 1973 half dollars, including those minted in Denver, were produced mainly for collectors rather than circulation. The 1973 D coin represents a time when the half dollar was slowly disappearing from daily use, making it more of a collector's item than a spending coin. This shift adds historical importance, as it marks the transition from common currency to collectible piece. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His profile is detailed and dignified, with the word liberty above, the motto In God We Trust below, and the year 1973 at the bottom. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, shows a powerful heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars representing the states. The coin is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, with a pure copper core and outer layers of nickel. It weighs about 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 with a reeded edge. Even in dirty condition, these design elements remain visible, though wear may reduce sharpness. The D Mint mark on the 1973 half dollar indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. This mark can be found on the obverse side, just below Kennedy's neck. Coins without a mint mark were made in Philadelphia, but for 1973, most circulation strikes came from Denver. The mint location affects collector interest, but for this year, the Denver issue is not especially rare. However, coins from different mints can still vary in strike quality and preservation, which may influence value. The 1973 D Kennedy half dollar had a mintage of approximately 83 million coins. This is considered a high production number, meaning the coin is common in circulated grades. Because of this, most examples found today, especially dirty or worn ones, are not rare. However, scarcity increases dramatically in high-grade uncirculated condition, where fewer coins have survived without marks or wear. In today's coin market, the value of a 1973 D Kennedy half dollar depends heavily on its condition and whether it has any special errors. A dirty coin in poor condition is usually worth around its face value, which is 50 cents. In circulated condition, values typically range from about 50 cents to $1. In fine condition, it may reach around $1 to $2, while extremely fine examples can sell for $2 to $4. Uncirculated coins can range from $5 to $15 depending on quality. In high mint state grades such as MS65 or higher, prices can rise to $50 or more, especially if the coin has strong luster and minimal marks. Exceptional coins graded at the highest levels have sold at auction for several $100s, though these are rare cases. Always remember that dirt and damage reduce value, and cleaning a coin improperly can make it worth even less. Although the 1973 D is common, certain error coins can be quite valuable. These include double die errors where letters appear doubled, off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing, and die cracks that create raised lines. Other interesting errors include broad strikes without a defined edge and rotated dies where the front and back are misaligned. If your coin shows unusual features, it could be worth much more than a normal example, even in dirty condition. One exciting aspect of the 1973 D Kennedy half dollar is that it can still be found in circulation, though not very often. Many people have these coins sitting in jars, drawers, or old family collections without realizing their potential. Searching through bank rolls, estate sales, or inherited coin boxes can sometimes reveal hidden treasures, especially if you find an uncirculated or error coin. Before selling or evaluating your coin, always check the condition carefully. Look for sharp details in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers, as these indicate higher grade. Never clean your coin, even if it looks dirty, because cleaning can scratch the surface and reduce its value significantly. Store your coin in a protective holder or coin flip to prevent further damage. If you believe your coin might be valuable, consider having it graded by a professional service. The 1973 D. Kennedy $50 is not considered a major investment coin in low grades, but it still has steady collector demand due to its historical connection and iconic design. High-grade examples and rare era coins have better investment potential. As interest in US coins continues to grow worldwide, even common coins like this may see gradual increases in value over time, especially in top condition. Many people don't realize that by 1973, $50 were rarely used in daily transactions, which is why so many ended up stored away instead of spent. Another interesting fact is that the Kennedy $50 was so popular in 1964 that people hoarded it, leading to shortages in circulation. Even today, it remains one of the most collected US coins. Next video. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy $50 without a mint mark is a fascinating coin that often gets overlooked, especially when found in dirty or worn condition. At first glance, it may look like just another old coin sitting in a drawer or coin jar, but collectors are always searching for these pieces because they represent an important era in American coinage. Even though many of them are common, certain examples, especially those in high grade or with rare eras, can carry surprising value. For beginners and experienced collectors alike, this coin is a perfect example of how everyday currency can turn into a collectible treasure over time. The Kennedy $50 was first introduced in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of John F. Kennedy. The coin was created to honor his legacy, and it quickly became one of the most emotionally significant coins in US history. By 1974, the coin had already gone through several changes, especially in its metal composition. During the early 1970s, the United States was dealing with economic challenges, including inflation and rising silver prices, which led to the removal of silver from circulating $50. The 1974 version was struck mainly for circulation, meaning it was widely used in everyday transactions, although by that time $50 were already becoming less common in daily use. This makes finding one today, especially in worn condition, a small piece of living history from a changing economic era. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His profile is strong and detailed, even on worn coins, with the word Liberty surrounding the top edge and the year 1974 at the bottom. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, you'll see the presidential seal with a heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Above the eagle are stars arranged in a circle. The coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, with a pure copper core and outer layers of nickel alloy. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6. Even in dirty condition, these design elements remain visible, although details may be softened due to wear. For the 1974 Kennedy $50, the absence of a mint mark means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins from Philadelphia traditionally did not carry a mint mark during that period. While Philadelphia produced a large number of these coins, making them common overall, mint location can still matter when comparing coins from Denver or special proof issues from San Francisco. In general, the no mint mark version is not rare by itself, but its value can increase significantly depending on condition or the presence of unusual errors. The 1974 Philadelphia Kennedy $50 had a mintage of over 200 million coins, which places it firmly in the common category. This large production number means that most examples found today, especially in circulated or dirty condition, are not rare. However, high-grade uncirculated coins are much harder to find because many were used in everyday transactions or stored improperly. This is why collectors pay special attention to well-preserved pieces. In today's coin market, value depends heavily on condition. A 1974 Kennedy $50 in poor or heavily dirty condition is usually worth only its face value of 50 cents or slightly more if sold in bulk. In circulated condition, it may range from about 50 cents to $1. In fine condition with moderate wear, it can reach around $1 to $2. Extremely fine examples with sharper details might sell for $2 to $5. Uncirculated coins, which show no signs of wear, can range from $5 to $15 depending on quality. High-grade mint state coins, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can reach $50 or more. Exceptional specimens with superb luster and strike have been known to sell at auction for several $100s. It's important to remember that dirty coins usually fall on the lower end of the value scale unless they have rare features. Although most 1974 $50 are standard, some era coins are highly collectible, These include double-die varieties where the lettering appears doubled, off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing, and die cracks that create raised lines across the surface. Broad strikes and rotated dies are also known. One important note is that a missing mint mark is not an error for this coin. It is normal for Philadelphia issues. Error coins can be worth anywhere from $20 to several $100s depending on their uniqueness and condition. Even today, the 1974 Kennedy $half can still be found in circulation, although it's rare. More commonly, they appear in old coin jars, inherited collections, estate sales, or bank coin rolls. Many people overlook them because they are not made of silver, but collectors know that valuable pieces can still hide among ordinary-looking coins. A dirty coin might not look appealing, but it's always worth checking carefully before dismissing it. Before selling or keeping this coin, always examine it under good lighting. Look for sharp details, unusual marks, or errors. Avoid cleaning the coin as this can reduce its value significantly. Collectors prefer coins in original condition, even if they appear dirty. Proper storage is also important. Use coin holders or albums to protect it from further wear. If you believe your coin is in high grade or has an error, consider professional grading for accurate valuation. The 1974 Kennedy $half is not considered a major investment coin in general, but it still holds steady collector interest. Demand remains consistent because of the popularity of the Kennedy series. High-grade examples and rare errors have the best potential for value growth over time. As more collectors enter the hobby, even common coins in excellent condition can become more desirable. One interesting fact is that by 1974, $half were already disappearing from daily use, even though millions were still being produced. Another surprising detail is that many people saved Kennedy $half as keepsakes rather than spending them, which is why so many still exist today. Despite being common, each coin carries a piece of American history and the legacy of a beloved president. So next time you come across a 1974 Kennedy $half with no mint mark, even if it looks dirty, don't ignore it. Take a closer look because you might be holding more than just spare change. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden coin treasures. And remember, your next valuable coin could already be sitting in your pocket right now. Next coin. Next up, the 1996 D. Kennedy $half is a modern US coin that many people overlook, but collectors still search for it, especially in better condition. First introduced in 1964 to honor John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, the Kennedy $half quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By 1996, the coin was no longer widely used in everyday transactions, which makes finding one in circulation today a bit more interesting. A dirty condition coin means it has seen real use, carrying history in its wear, but also affecting its value. While most 1996 D coins are not rare, certain high-grade examples or error varieties can still be worth significantly more than face value. The Kennedy $half was first released in 1964 as a tribute to President Kennedy, and it immediately became popular with the American public. Initially struck in 90% silver, the coin transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition in 1971 due to rising silver prices. By 1996, the coin was firmly in the modern clad era, produced mainly for collectors and limited circulation use. The 1990s saw declining use of $half in everyday commerce, which means many coins from this period were saved rather than spent. The 1996 D version, minted in Denver, reflects this era of reduced circulation but steady production. For collectors, coins from this time are often pursued in high-grade condition rather than for rarity alone, making condition the key factor in value. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His initials GR can be found near the neckline. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle with a shield, designed by Frank Gasparo, holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Surrounding the eagle are stars representing the states, along with the inscriptions United States of America and $half. The coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, weighing 11.34 grams with a diameter of 30.6. The edge is reeded, and on worn or dirty coins, you may notice the copper core peeking through along the rim. The D mint mark on your coin indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. This small letter is located on the obverse, just below Kennedy's neck. Coins without a mint mark typically come from Philadelphia, but in 1996, most circulation coins from Philadelphia also carried a P. The Denver Mint produced a large number of $half that year, so the mint mark itself does not make the coin rare. However, collectors sometimes prefer Denver coins in high grades because of slightly better strike quality. In 1996, the Denver Mint produced approximately 20 million Kennedy $half. This is a relatively high mintage, meaning the coin is considered common in the numismatic world. Because of this, most 1996 D coins are easy to find in circulated condition. However, finding one in perfect mint state condition, especially MS67 or higher, is much more difficult and desirable among collectors. The value of a 1996 D Kennedy half dollar depends heavily on its condition. In poor or heavily worn condition, especially if dirty, the coin is usually worth only its face value of 50 cents. In standard circulated condition, it may range from 50 cents to about $1. In fine to extremely fine condition, it can sell for around $1 to $3. Uncirculated coins, which show no wear, typically range from $3 to $10 depending on quality. In high mint state grades like MS66 or MS67, prices can jump to $50 or more, and exceptional specimens with strong luster and clean surfaces have reached over $100 at auction. As always, values depend on grading accuracy and market demand. While the 1996 D is not rare by itself, error coins can be quite valuable. Collectors look for doubled die errors, where letters or numbers appear duplicated, as well as off-center strikes where the design is misaligned. Clipped planchets, die cracks, and broad strikes are also possible and can significantly increase value. A rotated die error where the front and back are misaligned is another interesting variety. These errors are uncommon, but if found, they can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Even today, the 1996 D Kennedy half dollar can still be found in circulation, coin rolls from banks or old collections. Because many people ignore half dollars, they often sit unnoticed in jars, drawers, or inherited coin boxes. This creates an exciting opportunity for treasure hunters who enjoy searching through coins. While most finds will be common, the thrill comes from the chance of discovering a high-grade coin or a rare error. Before selling your coin, always check its condition carefully. Avoid cleaning the coin, even if it looks dirty, because cleaning can reduce its value significantly. Natural wear and tunning are preferred by collectors. If you believe your coin is in excellent condition or has an error, consider getting it professionally graded. Store your coins in protective holders or albums to prevent further damage. Handling coins by the edges and keeping them away from moisture will help preserve their condition over time. The 1996 D Kennedy half dollar is not considered a major investment coin due to its high mintage, but it still holds value as part of a complete collection. Demand for Kennedy half dollars remains steady because of their historical significance and popularity. High-grade examples and error coins have the best potential for future value increases. For beginners, this coin is a great entry point into coin collecting without requiring a large investment. One interesting fact is that half dollars are rarely used in daily transactions, even though they are still produced. Many casinos once used them in slot machines, which helped keep them in circulation longer than expected. Another fun detail is that the Kennedy portrait was adapted from a presidential medal design, giving it a slightly different artistic feel compared to other US coins. Despite being common, the coin's size and design still make it a favorite among collectors. And there you have it, the full story of the 1996 D Kennedy half dollar. It may look like just another old coin, especially in dirty condition, but as you've seen, there's history, detail, and even hidden value behind it. So before you ignore that half dollar sitting in your drawer, take a closer look. You might be holding something more interesting than you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you've ever found a rare Kennedy half dollar. And most importantly, start checking your coins today, because your next treasure could already be in your pocket.